In this video, we will be demonstrating a TECTUM E-N roof deck installation. TECTUM E, 3, and 3W install in a similar manner to the E-N deck we are using in this installation. The difference between these four decks is the type of insulation in varying thicknesses sandwiched between the upper OSB or plywood decking topside and the sound-absorbing TECTUM, which will be exposed to the interior of the building. TECTUM E-N is insulated with GPS insulation, while E uses EPS, and 3 and 3W use XPS. Think of TECTUM composite roof decks as a structural insulated panel with integrated acoustics. Here are the tools that we'll be using in today's installation. On some projects, a crane may be necessary to boom your panels into place. In that case, you will need to install lifting plates to your panels. Position your lifting plates 2 feet in from the end, then centered on the panel. You'll need to screw attach the lifting plates through every hole with number 10 coarse thread wood screws. Lifting straps are positioned through the removable pin on your plates. This positioning will give you a flat lift. Positioning your plates slightly off-center can provide a pitch to your lift to match the pitch of a roof you are craning to. To speed lifting plate attachment, gluing layers of plywood blocking to the lifting plate and using longer number 10 screws will allow you to back screws out, leave them in place, and reuse for the next panel without having to remove screws completely and re-screwing every time you want to lift up a panel. If required and ordered separately, shop drawings can be provided. The cover page will list the panel schedule, which includes the quantities and sizes. Design load information will be listed on the cover as well. You'll be given steel and support layouts, roofing sections, panel layouts, followed by other project-specific details and sections. Finally, individual panel drawings. It is important to note that the maximum width of a TECTUM composite roof deck panel is 47 inches. For the purpose of this installation video, we will be using smaller panels to demonstrate the proper installation procedure. We are following this screw layout with screws 3.5 inches in from the edge, then 8 inches on center along the width of the panel. For this layout, our screw spacing down the length of the panel at the perimeter is 12 inches. Reference this chart for your panel you will be installing. You may choose to pre-position your screws prior to installation. We will do it on the first panel to illustrate. Note that some deck systems, depending on the fastener or code approval, may require washers to be installed with the screws. All framing surfaces will require the application of either master weld or lumber lock adhesive prior to screwing down your TECTUM roof deck panels. Your panel is then laid down into place, then secured with supplied screw hardware in the frequency dictated by your standard screw spacing for TECTUM plank systems document. All panel perimeter and field screws to your joists need to be screwed into place prior to installing your next panel. Take care not to overdrive the fastener to compress the deck or strip out the screw-to-structure connection. Your subsequent end-to-end panels will be installed in the same manner. You'll begin your next row of panels with a staggered layout. There's an integrated tongue and groove along the long side of your panel. This tongue will require the application of adhesive along with your roof deck framing like you did on your prior panel installation. Prior to screwing, make sure your panels are fully seated with your panels perfectly splitting the roof deck framing. If there's concern that the expansion or contraction in the roof panels could compromise the continuous insulated envelope, the contractor could install an optional SIP seal joint sealant at the foam-to-foam connection as seen in this photograph. Next, reapply adhesive to the joists and tongue for your next panel installation. Once all panels are installed, you may need to snap some chalk lines to make sure your final field applied screws hit their mark on the roof framing. Prior to completion, you'll need to fill any voids between panels greater than 1/8 of an inch with expanding foam. When your roof deck installation is complete, inspect to make sure all screw locations have received the proper layout of screws around the perimeter and in the field. Eventually, you'll need to field cut your TECTUM roof deck panels to length or to a given pitch. Utilizing a worm drive beam saw, you can easily cut your panels to precision regardless of panel thickness. At locations where you need a solid nailing surface at the perimeters of your roof, we're going to scoop out the foam and replace it with a piece of dimensional lumber. The thickness of our foam insulation dictated that we cut our 2x4 down to 2 13/16 of an inch, so it will fit once the foam has been scooped out. We set our scoop depth to 1.5 inches and then simply drag down the perimeter, instantly melting away the unnecessary insulation. Because the scoop has a rounded profile, we are now going in straight to square it off. Before installing our nailer, we need to coat the top, inside, and bottom surfaces with adhesive. Fitting the nailer should be nice and snug. You'll need to fix with 8-penny nails through the top OSB, then with 16-penny nails through the TECTUM on the bottom side. To learn more about constructing your next roof with TECTUM roof deck products, visit armstrongceilings.com/TECTUM roof deck.